Hi, so you're going to notice that at a certain point while recording this podcast, my video decided to stop recording. It just froze and it didn't give me an alert or tell me anything until after we had hung up the call. But considering the fact that it didn't affect the audio of the podcast at all and Diva's video worked no problem, I decided that it wasn't going to be worth anyone's time to record it. And also, as I mentioned in this podcast, you will hear I'm going through a lot right now, family-wise and stuff. The state of my apartment, I think, gives good warning. So I will be using this very detailed drawing because graphic design is my passion in lieu of my face when the video does freeze, so that you're not just staring at this one static face from me. And also, so you know, at a certain point, you're going to hear a little like sounds. This is Hermes. This is my puppy. And he's a brat and likes to use me as a chew toy. So at a certain point, you will hear me being like, stop it, or pulling him away, or whatever. And though you can't see it, know that it's this little gremlin eating my ankles or my computer wires. That's what's happening. Yeah, exactly. I thought this was a really fun episode. Me and Diva had a lot of fun. And I'm so disappointed that there's not any moments of me cackling, because there were times where I could not breathe. She was making me laugh so hard. So all in all, enjoy this episode. Hi, welcome back to the Swell Shenanigans podcast. I'm your host, Amanda, but you can call me Swell. Here on the Swell Shenanigans podcast, we're still figuring out what the heck this podcast is. But what I do know is I like talking about all things pop culture, social media, and shenanigans. And today, to help me talk about some Housewives Shenanigans, we have Daphoenixdiva, also known as Diva. Diva, say hi.
Hi. It's like the Amanda show. You know that, right? It's the Amanda show today. Because my name's Amanda, so we're having the Amanda show. Shout out to Nickelodeon.
Yeah, so I was telling Diva before we started recording that I may be a bit of a runaway train in the brain department. I have been taking care of a family member who has COVID. It's been a busy week. It's been a nightmare. They're doing fine, and I'm just holding in. Contempt is not the word. my I told you so moment. I don't know.
It's definitely an I told you so moment.
No, it is, because this was so avoidable.
Yeah, I'm currently doing therapy, right? And this guy told me that one of the people that he's doing counseling with, she's a nurse, or I think she's a nurse, or something like that. And she told her parents to get the shot. Now both her parents didn't get the shot. They're both in the hospital with COVID, and the dad might not make it. So she's just like super pissed, which is why she's in therapy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, trust me. I called my therapist. I took my, it's one of my parents. I took my parent to the ER, was there till like 4 a.m, slept on a friend's couch because I didn't want to stay at COVID hotel, AKA their place. And then I was like driving back to LA the next morning, and I called, had my scheduled therapy appointment. I was like, listen to the weekend I've had, and just like railed on my whole family.
Yeah. This is the tea. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. So yes, please get vaccinated. And fun fact, here in Orange County, or that's where I took them to the ER, if you were not vaccinated, you could not go in with your family member. So because I had to show proof of my vaccine and all of that in order to even go in the room with them. And I'm still going to get a COVID test just to be safe, for the record. I feel fine. I have a brain fog, but I'm fairly certain it's lack of sleep.
You just have no sleep, and you have no sleep, and you want to say, I told you so.
Oh, so badly. But I still know they're miserable right now. So I'm like, okay, I'll be the good daughter.
How pissed will you be if they don't get the shot after this?
Oh, it's going to be like, okay, cool. So I'll see you on holidays only, even though you only live an hour away. Like, it's going to be like, there's going to be a problem. That? Yeah, it's going to be a problem.
I doubt that will happen, but that's like totally a possibility. That after that, you'll be like, I'm invincible, bitch. Like, yeah.
Oh, I so wish I could have recorded the, so intake nurse. This is not the topic. We're not railing on COVID people and all of that, but like this is all my last week has been. Like, I didn't even film a video last week. I was like, this is all. I was so brain melted.
I'm invincible, bitch.
No, but like we went into the ER, and the ER nurse was like, have you had the vaccine? All of that. And he goes, no. And she just goes, yeah, a lot of people who are unvaccinated are having COVID symptoms right now.
Tea!
Oh God, it was good. But anyway, we're talking about Real Housewives Shenanigans today. And
I'm for it.
So yeah, as always, there's no structure to this podcast. I'm
grody looking. I'm barely able to sleep. But we're just gonna talk about run through a variety of like Housewives Shenanigans, controversial house. Oh wait, I gotta do this disclaimer. Okay, so welcome to the Swell Shenanigans podcast. If the title didn't give it away, or me introducing myself as Swell, this is a podcast run by a YouTuber. I am not a lawyer. I am not anything. Okay, cool. My guest today is Diva. She is a streamer and what else would you describe yourself as? A internet personality? How else
I guess.
We are not making any definitive statements. Everything we are talking about is alleged unless there's actual indictments involved. Please do not sue us since we are talking about people who have the money to do so. Thank you.
Well, I don't know if some of them do because some of them are going through bankruptcy court right now. So I don't know if they got enough money for a lawsuit for some of them.
I feel like they would do but they need money to pay off the rest of the lawsuit. So I feel like they'd be like, yeah, we can run these these people dry. We can do that. Just suck out their souls. They'd probably even sell a kidney, like, I don't know what the rich do. The blood of the youth. I'm 23. I don't know. What do they want?
But what's so shocking about these current housewives, so like the housewives that are currently in trouble, like trouble, like, because like all of them go through lawsuits. Like if you go through the list of them, they all have some impending lawsuit of some sort of bullshit. Can we curse?
Oh yeah, we can curse. I swear like a sailor. You're good. Yeah.
Yeah. So they all go through like some sort of bullshit. Like all of them are. Like I can like we will be here all day if you're going to talk about housewives and lawsuits, honestly.
Yeah.
But like the two main ones that are going on right now that everyone's talking about is Jen Shaw from Salt Lake City and Erica Girardi from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yes.
What's so interesting about these two ladies is before their bullshit happened, we have Teresa Giudice from Real Housewives New Jersey who went to jail.
Yeah.
Who went to jail. Who went through bankruptcy court. Whose judge actually went to Bravo and said, give us your footage. So we've all seen this kind of play out before of what happens when you're on reality TV and you're not really telling the truth about your finances.
Yeah.
Right? So Teresa went to jail.
Yeah. I think the thing about Teresa's lawsuit too is we got a good insight into how the finances of just like, not even just Teresa, but like how the housewives get paid. Like I think she gets like it's like $200,000 a season or something.
Yeah.
Which someone's going to be like, that's a lot of money. It's like,
but
okay,
it's not.
Think about when you think about how long they film these people for, and also they're only paying the housewives technically. They're not paying the rest of the family members.
They do not pay the husbands. No, they don't.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of a deal, but it's between the wife and the husband. I was listening to an interview. I forgot who it was, but there was an interview and they were asking about the money. And they say what happened is, like, for example, Kandi and Todd. So that's Todd helps with the storyline, obviously, because Kandi, like, she doesn't have. I'm talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta for the people in the back. So basically, Kandi and Todd kind of have a thing saying, like, hey, babe, you got to pay like what, like 500 whatever grand. Can I have a slice of that? So like she'll kind of give him a little bit of money from that.
Yeah.
Slice.
Yeah. But also
something the wife and the husband.
Yeah. And also something, I think there was, I want to say it was Andy Cohen's show or something.
Right.
But Kandi also said something. She's like, I won't do they keep offering me spinoff shows and I won't do it because then that takes away from the storylines and then they can cut down your payment on the Real Housewives. And I'm like, oh, that's a really good point. So, also, but then that would make sense as well. Yeah. With paying the husband because it's like, oh, well, you would get a bigger chunk of the pie if we did a spinoff. Yeah. So yeah.
And then also, like, I did hear a rumor. I don't know if it's true. I've heard this rumor several times that, like, with the beginning Housewives, they had this fucked up deal, like this fucked up 360 deal that whatever businesses they do outside of Real Housewives, Bravo gets a chunk of it, allegedly.
Oh, that's some Team 10 bullshit. I don't like that.
I heard this tea, and I heard that Bethany is the only one that got away with it. So, like, Nene is currently paying Bravo. Like, like, I think her boutique goes to Bravo, and then there's a rumor that Luann from Real Housewives of New York, you know how she's doing her cabaret shit?
Yeah.
Bravo's getting a piece of that.
I mean, okay. I am not speaking down about the Countess, but
but they're getting a piece of that.
Yeah, no, it
allegedly.
I mean, considering, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Hashtag alleged. But with the but with Luann's cabaret stuff, I mean, considering how much of her storyline involves her cabaret, it would make sense. But I mean, I think the same goes for Bethany, considering how much, like, she was not making that much money at this point.
No, she was a nobody. New York. Skinny Girl happened.
Yeah,
Skinny
how
Girl
did she get on the
Real
show?
Housewives of New York.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she like came up with like, she like talked about it, and then it was like pitching it, and then by like the end of season 1, she actually had like an investor or something. Like, it was something like backwards like that, and not backwards like it's
she was living
necessarily down. Yeah,
she was living in like a 400 square foot apartment in New York City, broke as shit, like broke as fuck. Hey, I can't really talk because that bitch just broke myself. But I'm just trying to make a point.
Yeah.
And Bravo allegedly got none of the piece of that pie, and that's allegedly part of the rift.
Huh. Well, she might be coming back, isn't she? Potentially for the next season.
No, she's saying no.
She said that before though too. I don't trust her. I really don't. Bethany,
I don't either. But I think
she's good for storyline. I think she's good for plot, but I think as a human being, I think she would.
No, she's a shitty human being. Like, the tea that I heard is that she wants EP.
Oh,
that's the rumor I heard. She wants producer EP. She wants more control.
Considering she's done. I mean, I can get why she would think she can leverage that. I'm sorry, my Siri wants to be a part of this conversation.
But okay, go on. I want to hear your tea.
No. She's just done so many spin-off shows, and they never last longer than a season or two. Other than I think her top.
Frederick's show, and they're no longer friends allegedly because of that. Because you remember she was trying to do a real estate show. Like, I'm sorry, who gives a fuck about real estate? I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck about you going to a house trying to act like you're gonna do something, Bethany. You ain't doing shit. I don't see you picking up one goddamn paintbrush and painting one goddamn wall. All you're doing is walking in with your dusty ass clothes, with your messed up haircut that you've been rocking for the same 5 years, saying, "Oh, this house needs to get fixed," and I'm going to pretend I'm going to do something, and then leaves, and then comes back, saying that she did some shit when she didn't. And Reza from Shaw's of Sunset tried to do the same bullshit. Trying to walk in, trying to act like he was going to paint a wall, fucking did it, came in with his Versace and fucking left. No, your show got canceled because we don't give a fuck.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Because you remember the shows like back in the day when they actually came in the house and they actually did some shit that was on ABC?
They did the HGTV, like the house flipper people and all of that.
They actually did something. You can actually learn something like, oh my God, I know how to pot a plant now. Oh my God, I know how to do this. Or, oh my God, I could do this with my kitchen. No, I don't want to see your bitch ass coming in for 10 minutes, reading me the fucking filth, trying to act like you did something when you fucking didn't, and you're going to come back in the last 10 minutes. Fuck off. I don't care.
Oh, on that same note, like, there's so many YouTubers who do like really great home renovation videos and like deserve their own shows versus like these rich people who are just like, here's like $1 million. Oh, we lost $800,000. That's fine. Like, I don't want to see that.
Like, you're doing absolutely fucking nothing. It's just that you have the money and the resources to buy cheap homes, fix them up, put them on Airbnb. I'm not taking away from her for that, but that's not a television show. Like, who wants to watch that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No one, because it got canceled.
Okay, so I think the most interesting thing about the current, like, big name Real Housewives lawsuits right now. So we've got Erica Girardi, who is married to Tom Girardi, who was being sued. And then now it just came out today as we're recording that she is also being indicted for about $25 million.
They caught that $20 some odd million was moved from Girardi's law firm to her LLC. And she
the Erica Jane one,
The Erica Jane one. And she really tried to come on reality TV saying, by golly, I don't know where that $20 million went to. And I'm innocent.
Yeah, see,
I thought that was very interesting.
Like, her whole thing about like not knowing, like, I didn't know anything. I don't think so. Cause like, sure, there seemed to be some back and forth on whether or not they had like a really involved relationship, whether or not they had an open relationship.
Right.
But then there's also little bits on the show. And I know reality TV is not always reality. Ha ha ha. I get the point. Yeah. No, I don't want any of those comments.
Right.
But like, with it, when it comes to, there were moments in the show, like she wasn't allowed to buy her own jewelry. There was multiple times where she wanted to make renovations to the house and she had to ask, like, I just want to make sure that like she checked in with Tom and all of that. And it's like, there are certain bits where it's like, okay, you have to know certain elements of this. Like, maybe she didn't know everything. Maybe she didn't know the amount.
My issue is how were you a cocktail dancer or whatever the fuck you're doing? Like, how are you a stripper and don't count money? That's what I want to know. Like, that was your past job, being a goddamn waitress counting bills. Like, so how did you do that and act like you don't know how the bank account works? Like, it's fucking bullshit. Like, you were a fucking stripper. Like, that's like Cardi B not checking her finances. Cardi B was an open stripper. Yes, she's counting the ones. Cardi is counting her bills. I have never seen a stripper get rich and become broke. I've never seen it happen. They're always counting their bills. Are you fucking kidding me? That don't make no fucking sense. And then the thing with Erica that makes no sense is she's extremely irresponsible, in my opinion. Because there is a story, and I believe it, that she went on a podcast. I think her name was Heather McDonald. That's the person that runs the podcast.
She's a comedian. She has at least one special on Netflix. I met her at one of my friend's graduation parties one time because one of my friend's moms was in a sorority with her. And I said, I made a comment, and this is like one of my greatest fears of all time, is like making a comment to a comedian, and then like it somehow gets construed as rude, and then I end up in a comedy special. Like, that's like one of my greatest fears.
That would be a vibe. That's a vibe, though. Like, I want to be that bitch. But like, I want to be roasted to millions. Like, roast my ass to millions of people. I want to pay your bill. Please, roast me. And then at the end of it, like, tell them to subscribe to my channel afterwards. Like, you know that bitch I just roasted? Yeah, go to her fucking Twitch or tell her she fucking sucks.
I just made she was talking about her podcast or something, and I was like, oh, it seems like a lot of people are getting into the podcasting space, like just making small talk. Right. And she was like, well, I've had mine for 3 years. Like, it was like, I've never felt my, like, you know, my heart fell to my ass. Like, I don't know how else to describe that.
And it's a comment, though, because bitch is true. Everybody has one. It's a fact. Everyone has one. Like,
hi, welcome to the Swell Shenanigans podcast, the podcast that does not need to exist.
Heather, if you're watching, hi. You know that bitch that made the comment about your podcast? Well, she made one too.
A lot of people are getting into the podcasting space.
Ain't that some shit? But like, so Heather interviews a lot of housewives, and Erica went over there, and like in the beginning of a lot of podcasts, they don't have cameras. A lot of them don't. It's just strictly audio. So it was strictly audio, no camera. And she's saying that she brought the glam squad to come on the podcast. Yes. And spent $30,000, and she wasn't even seen. So it's just like, well, bitch, how'd you get that $30,000? And like, we could do the whole argument like, oh, she was a pop star, da-da-da-da. I'm sorry. I never heard of Erica Jane before Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I've been to the gayborhood. They call it the gayborhood in Dallas, like a whole strip of gay clubs and stuff. I never heard one bop of hers. Not one. Now, she did come to one of the gay bars that I do have in Dallas, but that's after she became a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star. But was Erica Girardi or Erica Jane there before? No, she was not.
Even when you have money, okay? Yeah. Whether it's gotten from ill-gotten gains or not. I think once you get over, I want to say 5,000, but I think that's low. Let's say over 10,000. You know what you're spending. Right. Like, you can't just drop that and not know, like, can we, pay the mortgage on house number 13 this year? Like, what, like, you know where the money is going.
Like, you're spending $30,000.
Open business manager.
Yeah, like, it's just ridiculous. She's spending $30,000 on a glam squad. When she's going, when she went overseas on all the different trips they went to, she brought her glam squad with her overseas and gave them all first class tickets. Who are we talking to? Who are we fooling? Then she's bragging about having $1 million ring on her finger, and I was extremely ignorant to what Tom Girardi did. And it wasn't until I saw The Housewife and The Hustler. I think it was something like that. And it was on Hulu. I watched that and I was gagging. Yeah. It was some good tea there. And I was ignorant to what Tom Girardi did because I thought lawyer means you make a lot of money. So when she came on and she says that I have 2 private jets and I have $1 million ring and I have all this kind of stuff, and I hear that he's a lawyer with the Aaron Brockovich trial, I didn't think to question it. So then I'm watching the documentary, whatever that was on Hulu, and I was like, oh, lawyers make money, but not like fuck you money. And the money that she was spending was like if he was Jeff Bezos. Like having 2 jets, that's kind of insane. Where God rest the dead, Kobe Bryant, he didn't even have his own helicopter. He rented his. Yeah. God rest the dead. And that was Kobe. I
think the thing, so let me just explain really quick for the listener. So what Tom Girardi did is he was basically, I'm going to put it like a hero lawyer. We'll say that's what he was considered as, because he got involved, his lawsuits involved toxic tort. So what he would do essentially was he would take on cases that were like, say, like the Aaron Brockovich case, water supply being polluted. And he was one of the first people at the time. It was the biggest settlement for the victims of a class action like that, which I think was like, I want to say 32 million. That seems low. It's not, it's 32 million or 32. It's like,
and it was back in
like
the 90s, I think.
Yeah. But like, that was like the largest settlement they had ever gotten at the time. So he became like one of the top lawyers, not just in toxic tort and like these types of cases, but in dozens of compared to other lawyers, he was like considered like the superhero lawyer, basically. The thing with Tom Girardi is what he started doing at some point, and this is all alleged. Again, the case is ongoing, but there's evidence to point to it, but again, alleged because I don't want to get sued.
According to the LA Times.
Yes, according to the LA Times and bravo.com. But basically what Tom Girardi would do, allegedly, is that when he would get these settlements for these victims, that he would take on these cases what he would do, which I think is insidious on occasion, is it's insidious, it's only on occasion is it insidious. What he would sometimes do is take these cases, quote unquote, pro bono, and say, oh, I'm only going to get paid once we get the settlement. But then he would draw out when the settlement was going to come to the actual victims of the cases that he would win, and he would pocket that money or launder that money for, and not even laundering it. He wasn't even doing that. He was just like, yeah, this is mine. And
yeah, like he literally took it and said, this is mine, and then did some bullshit.
Allegedly.
And allegedly like had the client say like, oh, let's do it like a payment plan, like you invest in my firm. Like it was like insane what this man was doing, hiding these people's money. The documentary that I watched, like one story really bothered me. So they're all bad, by the way. Like, let's be clear. They're all bad. But one guy, it just really rubbed me the wrong way. Literally, he became a burn victim because he was literally watching a football game and a pipe burst.
Yeah.
That's literally what happened. Like, it's like, imagine you staying at your house or you're just in your home and a pipe burst. He barely survives and his girlfriend's dead because she went to go get something from the shed. And so when you hear stories like this, and literally he's in the hospital, right? And Tom Girardi showing up like the great Michael, the angel Michael, I'll help you. My law firm will get these bastards. So, and he does. And he's promised all these millions of dollars. And it's not because this guy wants to be rich. He's a burn victim. He's going to have to get treatment for the rest of his life.
That's a lifelong effect or an after effect from this.
And it has to be paid for.
And it's expensive and all of that. So
he has to get skin grafts, all this kind of stuff, and he can't work because it's very painful. So it's not like, oh, I'm a burn victim and I want to, get these people back for what they did to me. Rightfully so, he should feel like that.
Yes.
But the main thing is like he got to pay for these treatments, and it's not cheap. And Tom Girardi stole that money allegedly. And then we're hearing about the plane crash victims dealing with widows and orphans. It's just like,
oh God.
Bro, you're disgusting. And then
there's a lot of things with someone, we could go into ethics and someone could sit here and be like, okay, well, not all victims are when you deal with toxic tort, the victims are quite literally victims. And
they're actual victims.
Yes. These are people who need long-term care and support. And that's not cheap. Okay. Not just for themselves, but for their family members and the like. Okay. These are people who are experiencing lifelong ramifications for the acts of companies and individuals. And the fact that Tom Girardi, I'll say it, allegedly preyed on these people specifically because he knew there were big settlements involved, and then started cashing that money out for his own personal gain. And so his wife could have her pop star career.
Yeah. So he could doll his wife up. It's a serious fuck you. It's a serious fuck you because they're saying allegedly that he was going to have the conversation with her saying that we can't do this anymore because we're literally burning money. You're not a star. You're not a hit. We can't do this anymore. And then I think it was Yolanda Hadid or Yolanda Foster, who was married to David Foster, suggested Erica to be on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So if it wasn't for Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, she would have stopped. Now, what's really, really interesting is now we see that there's a $25 million that she's getting, she's getting in trouble in bankruptcy court for the $25 million. What's really interesting is one of the people in Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, her name is Sutton. Now, she is very rich. Very, very rich. She was married to a very rich man, and they got divorced, and she got her money. We love to see it. We love to see it.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss.
Yes, we love to see it. Now, she wants to keep her money, rightfully so, and she considered Erica her friend. Now, rich people do this shit all the time, and I've heard it all the time, that like if someone's going through a hard time and you have a rich friend, they will say, hey, I will loan you some money because you're going through a hard time and you're not getting any money. I'll help you. Here's a couple $1 million. Like for us, I'll be lucky if my friend lets me borrow $5, not millions of dollars. Like, here, just pay me back when you can. Can't relate. But Sun was going to do that for Erica. And what's sad is this scene was actually removed from the original episode. That Sun offered this to Erica, saying like, hey, if you need some money, I'll give
Wasn't it also, didn't she also give Erica some legal advice and she was worried she was going to be implicated?
You know what, that wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, but like Sun was trying to be a friend to her. And then that LA Times article came out and she called her lawyer because she got a lot to lose. So that's why I'm kind of confused with the other wives kind of being hypocritical, saying, Sun, why are you backing away from her? And why are you not being a good friend? Because Sun got a lot to fucking lose over there. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I'm a broke person, which, by the way, allegedly they're asking Lisa Rinna questions.
If I was investigating Erica and her involvement, fuck yeah, I'm talking to the people in the Housewives where they were all getting paid the same chunk of money. Like, absolutely. They went on trips together. Yeah. Erica treated them to certain things and here and there. Like, yeah, you're asking your friends, especially if I was, hell, side note, I agree in friendship, but if I had been given something from Erica, I would probably reach out to my lawyer and be like, hey, should I be ready to surrender these things if they come knocking on my door? Like, what are my rights in this situation? Because you need to protect yourself. I'm sorry. Be a good friend, but also like, when you have a lot to lose, like, I think it's normal.
Has a lot to fucking lose. So for everybody to kind of look at Sutton and be like, oh, you're a bad friend, they're already talking to Lisa Rinna. I don't know if they're talking to Kyle. I don't know which Kyle, girl.
See, I think Mauricio might have allegedly more control over like Kyle's finances and Kyle's like legal stuff.
Do you want to talk about Mauricio? We can.
We can as well. So basically my point that I started, we absolutely can. We can get into the husbands. There's so much with the husbands. But with my point with bringing up the interesting thing about both Erica and Jen Shah is on both of their seasons and both of their respective Real Housewives iterations. There were other housewives who people and audiences were like, hey, what's the deal with this business transaction? So on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, there is
Jen. Oh my God.
But okay. So Mary may or may not be a cult leader.
But like, by the way, I love Jen. Like, if she goes to jail, I want Bravo to record her through the cell.
See, the thing with Teresa, okay, so the interesting thing about Teresa Giudice going to jail is they, in fact, they moved their recording schedule around when she was getting out. They didn't, so it's not like she missed a season. She is one of the OG housewives, and she earned that title. She went to jail.
They paused the filming for like a year and a half and did a whole special recording her husband and the kids. So that's why I get kind of upset with the fans when people say it's a Teresa show. It is a Teresa show, but it's called Real Housewives of New Jersey.
It's also very interesting, like, because I recently, over the pandemic, I like binge watched all of New Jersey and a couple other shows, and it's very interesting to see how she's matured, not even just like as a person, but as a businesswoman. Like, she's really
jail will do that to you.
Not even just that though, but before going to jail and all that, because I do think there were a lot of businesses of hers, not including the lawsuit, that were, I think, maybe in her own mind, like, started with good intentions. Like, I want to do this I want to have my dessert business and I want to do that with my daughters. And
Kathy in the dessert.
Yeah, like, I think there were a lot of different, like, her, like, was it Fabulicious? What is that?
Fabulicious, Fabellini, that, like, ghetto-ass wine. And then she had the cookbooks. Oh, my God. Caroline. Oh, my God. The tea that came out about Caroline and her family.
That was going to be my question. Okay, that was going to be, like, one of my ending questions for you. So we're going to wait to talk about the potential mob relations of the Real Housewives.
But, and what happened to Dina?
Oh, God. And Dina's boyfriend, fiance.
No, her ex-husband, Caroline's brother-in-law.
No.
We'll wait.
Okay, yeah.
No way.
But then also with Erica on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Dorit Kempsey, how do you pronounce it?
Dorit, yes.
Her and PK, her husband, there's allegedly some shady business dealings in there as well. And my favorite editing moment from the Real Housewives is when they had PK and Dorit sitting next to each other.
Yes, and they look like bandits.
Yeah, and it was like, what is how do you guys make money? And it was just like
it was the weirdest moment.
Oh god.
No idea how they make I don't know how they make money, but like
it's not just from being Prince George, is that the guy's name?
It's not just from being his manager. Prince George does not give him that much money. Like who? Like honestly, who goes to his concert?
I'm 23. I can't answer that. I have no idea.
Nobody. No motherfucking body, except for the nursing home.
Okay, so
like he had one hit, right? Like stop it. Like that's like the same thing as saying that the Hansons are rich because they sang Bop. Like shut up. Be quiet. I don't even know. Like I don't even know. If you put a gun to my head, they're like, "What was his hit?" I'm gonna be like this. I know it has like that comma part in it. That's it. That's the only thing I know.
Comma Chameleon? Is that it?
Yeah, like Comma Chameleon. Exactly.
Is that the Beatles? Wait,
no, that was him. Exactly. That's my point. Like, shut up. Like, Aqua had more hits. Like, they had Barbie Girl. They had more hits. Aqua did. Stop.
Oh my god, LMFAO had more hits.
Yes, worry. Okay, John did. What? Like, pretty like, girl, bye. But no, Mauricio is so interesting to me because they didn't really address what happened between Kyle and Kathy Hilton and why they beefed for so long. Their beef lasted for 10 years. So, and I thought it was very interesting how
I do think Kyle is afraid of Kathy and losing her again. I do think she would not stand up to Kathy if given the opportunity.
Kyle is so in love with Mauricio that she can not even be honest with what he did was wrong. Like, he can't even be honest with the situation. So for the people in the back, this is all alleged. So the reason why Kathy Hilton, Paris Hilton's mother, had a fight with Kyle was the first thing was Kyle put their sister Kim on the show. And Kim is an alcoholic. And on the show, Kyle exposed Kim's alcoholicism. That was the season finale of season 1, was you take that back, you're a liar, you're sick, and you're an alcoholic. And now everybody knows. And that's what Kyle did to Kim. And Kathy had a real issue with that because their family's extremely private. Because, for example, we don't hear anything about Paris's little brother. Oh, you know how he's on drugs and cursing people out on the airplane? Yeah, I know. Google it, TMZ. Paris Hilton, you know, she went to jail over drugs. People try to forget that shit, too. She's been caught with drugs several times. So that family is extremely, extremely private. A private family. So when Kyle put out Kim's business about being an alcoholic, Kathy felt a real ways by that. And because it was exposing a family secret. So that was the first strike. Then the second strike was Mauricio was allegedly broke as hell when he met Kyle. And Rick, Kathy's husband, the Hilton, which I didn't know, but like their money is not from the Hilton. That's their own money, apparently. I didn't know that. I thought they made money from the Hilton. But no, Ricky Hilton made his money from doing a real estate agency. That's how they have their house and everything. So Rick, being a good brother-in-law, put Mauricio under his wing. So that's how Mauricio originally made his money. So then Mauricio wanted to spread his wings, and Rick allegedly gave his blessing, saying, yeah, Mauricio, you can leave. The issue was Mauricio took people with him.
The hostile exit.
And that's why I don't like Mauricio, because Mauricio was like, I don't see what the big deal is.
You poached clients. You poached employees. Like, that's just business etiquette, especially with amongst like wealthy people when your business is like literally an empire, essentially, especially with Hiltons. Like, you don't mess with that, you know?
And then Kyle wants to sit here and cry, be like, I don't know why I'm not invited to Nikki. I don't know why I wasn't invited to Nikki's wedding. I don't know why I'm not invited to Christmas dinners. I don't know why my husband's not allowed to come.
And then also she did the American Woman, which was
And
a
then
show
she did
based
The
on her
American Woman.
mom. Yeah, a show based on her mother's story, which Kathy and Kim were both against.
Look, I went on Cheryl's World. She talks about housewife stuff. I ain't gonna repeat what was said about Big Kathy, but there's some tea there, a lot of tea, and we'll leave it there.
Oh, damn. Okay, we will link that episode. Damn.
We will leave it the fuck there. It's on Cheryl's World. We'll leave it the fuck there.
Okay, we'll touch on Jen Shaw's, what she was actually charged with.
Yeah.
So Jen,
she
was indicted for her alleged role in a long-running telemarketing scheme while filming season 2 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. What was alleged is that, what it seems, because like watching the show, I recently binge watched it. It's on Hulu.
Oh, I love the show. I love the show.
It's so entertaining. I don't understand.
It is. I love Jen Shaw. I love the show, and that's why. And like we'll keep up with the subject. That's why I get frustrated when people say that the reason why Real Housewives New York isn't successful anymore. New Jersey didn't do well. OC didn't do well. Dallas just got canceled. And people are saying the reason why this is all happening is because people are over Housewives. No, clearly we're not. Because Salt Lake City brings it. Potomac brings it. Beverly Hills is currently bringing it. Okay.
Oh yeah, right now, absolutely. But there was a whole bit where there was like one season where I was like, okay, I don't care who said what, like you're done.
Yeah,
next episode.
Right. But like, it's not we're tired of Housewives. They're not bringing it, and I feel like Salt Lake City really brought it. They really came in. They were freshman girls. You know what I mean? They really made Utah interesting. Because before that, like, it's like, who gave a damn about Utah? Nobody. Not a fucking soul gave a fuck about Utah. Not one goddamn soul. Because when they first pitched the show, and they showed the mountains and the snow and all that bullshit, and no disrespect to Mormons, because I'm a friend with a Mormon, but knowing how Mormons get down, I was like, well, what are we going to do?
Yeah. We're going to go skiing every single episode? Like, what's happening?
They don't smoke, they don't drink, they don't curse, because that's what they believe in, respectfully. So I was like, so what are we going to do?
And then I saw a whole different, like, so much different veils of Mormonism from the show.
Yeah, no, it was really interesting.
Very interesting.
Which I talked to one of my Mormon friends about it. I was like, so I'm watching the show, and there's Mormons on there. And she was like, is it Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? And I was like, yeah, it is. Are y'all going to do anything? Like they're Scientologists, which we're not. I'm just like, are y'all going to do anything about it? What are you going to do? And she just looked at me. She's like, we're aware and we're letting it go. I was like, okay.
I respect that.
I was like, okay, because like with the sister wives, you don't talk about it.
You don't talk about how they were this close to being banned from a state. Like you don't.
They don't talk about it. But like I asked her about Salt Lake City, and I was like, so we're letting it go? She's like, yeah, we're letting it go. I was like, okay, God bless.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God. But yeah, no, I didn't understand what Jen did other than party plan. Like I didn't fully understand. She's very entertaining, great TV.
She was fun about what her husband did. She kind of presented it that he was the head coach. He's not the head coach. He's assistant coach. So I was like, wait, no shade to an assistant coach, but how are you wearing Versace every day? Like, how are you in Vegas and you're bringing in a whole rim of Versace for y'all to try on and y'all can grab whatever you want and walk out? How are you making these parties? How do you have 10 assistants? How is this all happening? You know what I mean? It was very elaborate. And she said, oh, I'm a marketer, And I read an article about her trying to explain what she does. And she says that she knows the secret of algorithms. And she said, you know, when you go on a website and you randomly see an ad about Neiman Marcus and some shoes, that's me. I did that. So when you click on that link and you buy something, if you click on the link, she gets paid. If you buy something, she gets paid more. That's what she was pretending to be.
Basically, she was pretending to be those YouTubers who were like, affiliate marketing is the easiest passive way to make money. That's what she was pretending to do. And that got her that big pink office with the flowers and was it the bike, the roller skates, the scooters? She came in one of the episodes, she like wrote in on something. It was very interesting.
Like that boy from TanaCon.
Yeah. Oh my God, the Segway guy, Michael Weist. Hey, I still am waiting for him to get back to me about an interview. He was going to confront me about my video on TanaCon and going on Dr. Phil. Yeah, I will link my Dr. Phil episode down below. Anyway.
I love that episode, by the way. It was a good time.
Thank you. But yeah, no, basically what Jen was actually doing was supposedly involved in a telemarketing scheme. So basically, those people who call you and be like, hi, you signed up for a timeshare. And you're like, no, I didn't. This is the FBI. And then you hang up.
And she was giving out information of elderly people. Like she was giving them, she was selling information of elderly people.
Yeah,
which
she
is
was
a serious
basically
fucking crime.
She was quote unquote doing a phishing scam essentially, where she would like send you links to sign up for things, and then you wouldn't actually get the things. There was technically no money involved, but she was basically mining people's private information and then selling that information to companies like marketing companies and stuff.
Yeah.
So she was basically the illegal middleman. She was money laundering your information, allegedly. Yeah. Don't sue me, Jen, please. Anyway, your style is impeccable. Please don't sue me.
I know. I love her hair. I love her clothes. I love her dress. And then Mary Cosby.
Mm-hmm. So alleged. Okay. So I'm not going to say that she runs a cult.
Well, did you hear that during COVID the church was shut down? Mm-hmm. And she allegedly would have days where she would like tell her congregation to send her money. And one of the days, I read an article, one of the days, like she got 6 figures. And her husband, I almost said the G word.
So let's explain what the deal is with Mary and her husband. Basically,
I don't want her to come after me with her shrinked up nose and bad wig, which I like how she admitted to her having a bad wig problem.
I agree.
Which I saw in the trailer of the new one, her wig is still sliding. Yeah, like, because like you remember her excuse of her hair issue was, it was bad. And she scrunches up her nose when she talks. So she does this. It was bad, Andy. My hair was bad. But I didn't have my hairdresser. And so I'm looking at the second trailer and I'm like, did the hairdresser not show up again? Because she was sliding again.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting all this money. Okay, I'm not judging. Like,
no, like for you for your wig game to be that bad, and I could go and put on a wig for like $20 and my wig's still intact. That's a problem.
Yeah, I'm too white to comment on this, but Diva,
I'll do it. I'll do it.
But yeah, basically, I'll explain the husband explanation. Basically, allegedly,
no, that part ain't alleged. She owned up to about her and her husband.
Basically, her husband, when she was when her grandmother passed away, allegedly in this will, and I can say allegedly on that
she's
part.
Saying it was not in the will. That's what she did on the reunion. It was not in the will, and it was he said, she said. Because what she's saying is her grandmother told her to marry her husband. And the husband is saying that she told him to marry one of her girls. Mm-hmm. And apparently her mother wanted to marry him.
Because she wanted the church, allegedly.
No, it wasn't the church. It was the estate. It was the homes and the restaurants and all that. That's what the mother wanted. So basically what happened was for that estate to stay in their family, because obviously it went to the husband, he had to marry somebody in the family. So it was going to be the mother. But so what Mary is saying, that they went and prayed about it, and God told them that the grandmother told God that he should marry her husband. You can't make...
Yeah, that's like something like you can't write. Like you can't make that up, because I'm going to be like, that's a little far-fetched.
Everybody's starving and everybody homeless and shit. Yes, God took time to talk
to play matchmaker.
Yeah, to play
matchmaker. Grandfather.
And she said that they didn't have sex on the married night, on the wedding day. Mm-hmm. And that she delayed it a while, saying it was a long period.
Yeah. Like it was like a week. It was like the longest period. It was like a 10-day period, a 2-week period. Yeah.
And then they don't even sleep in the same room. Their son is cute though.
Their son's adorable. Oh my God. And the way he got all blushy when he was talking about his fashion line that he wanted to start, he was like, he was adorable. He was great.
I love the son. But this season, they're supposed to be talking about how it's a cult. Because Lisa, she really surprised me, because the beginning of the season with Lisa, she came off as very, very quiet girl that was like really obsessed with her businesses and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that reunion, she really showed who the fuck she is.
Yeah.
And so she's going after Mary, and then she's going to go after Heather, and then Whitney. Yeah, she's going to go after Heather and Whitney, and I'm for it. And then Meredith is going to go after Jen because of Housewives Twitter.
Housewives, Twitter gets so many housewives. I don't know why. It's like The Bachelor. Like, take Twitter away from your people. Stop it.
I'm part of Housewife Twitter. Like, I have because people ask me, they'll check the people that I interact with that are part of Housewives Twitter, like the big people of Housewives Twitter, and they notice they follow me, and they're like, "How the fuck did you get that follow?" And I'm like,
hence why Diva is on this episode.
I just no, like my and Danielle Staub follows me.
Oh. Honestly, I'm kind of obsessed with her. Low-key.
I love her. So anytime people talk shit about Danielle Staub, I take a screenshot of her following me. As I'm like, I shine this once a week. But yeah,
you gotta get blackmade. You gotta get framed and put it in the background.
Right. I'm cool with a lot of people in Housewives Twitters, like the big ones. And so one big one, her name is Love Andy C. And the main thing about her Twitter, which, by the way, for people that do not know this is actually like a confirmed thing. Bravo knows all the big Twitter accounts. Andy does too. They all do. And Love Andy C even said that she got contacted by Bravo about BravoCon, about like what she thinks they should do and things like that. So like she was contacted. So yeah,
I mean that's nice that they're involving fans and stuff.
They always involve fans.
That's more than YouTube does.
They're doing right because they want to be around. So they follow the Twitter accounts and they see what we're saying, because if you notice these big accounts and you notice the replies, you'll look at the next season and you'll see big shifts and changes. Like, so for example, Heather Dubrow, she's coming back at Real Housewives of OC. We did that. We asked for her back.
Yeah.
And then the girls that left was what we said we wanted gone. We did that too. So Andy has said, and Bravo has said several times, that they look at interactions on Twitter. So one of the rules that we have is if we're talking shit, to not tag the housewife.
Yeah.
If we're talking shit about a housewife, do not tag them because it causes issues. And so, like, if you start tagging housewives when we're having a discussion, you get blocked. Mm-hmm. We don't play over there.
Oh, gosh. But yes, so the very first season of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, there was a couple of people on it, and this was there was a lot of talk about it pre the finale, but the after the reunion or whatever for the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Andy Cohen was like, "What do you say about the mafia ties?" And I believe it was Caroline Manzo who was like, "I'm not even gonna. That's such a joke.
Because
like, it's not."
The story is that it's not her, it's her husband's family, the Manzo.
Yes.
The daddy Manzo, so her father-in-law was murdered, mob-related incident. And they have this, like, it's called the Bridgestone, right? Or the Firestone.
The Brownstone, yeah.
The Brownstone.
It's like their, like, event restaurant area.
Yeah, the
space,
restaurant, things like that. So allegedly, that was helped by the mob, allegedly. That's how they were connected to the mob. And now
okay, wait. Another disclaimer, because now we're talking about people who could have us killed. So
like allegedly.
Everything all of this is allegedly. Again, I am a YouTuber. Diva is a streamer. We are not we have no legal standing, and please do not sue us and or come after us and have us swim with fishes. Please do not put a horse head in my bed. Thank you. Okay, continue.
So like there's always been like weird buzzes about the Manzo's family, about like Caroline's husband allegedly having a second family. And that was brought up in one of the seasons. I think it was like her last season. I think it was like season 5.
She claims they also didn't know what happened to her father-in-law. She claimed so she tried to make that claim.
That season is a Frankenstein editing season, because it's insane, because they edit out a lot of stuff, because apparently they brought up Manzo having a whole nother family, like the husband having a whole separate family, having a long-term girlfriend. So that was brought up, and that was on camera, and they edited that out. And then apparently at the end there was like a huge fight that they did not show. And it was apparently Jackie, Caroline, and the kids fighting. And they all had to go to court for it. So there's paperwork behind it. But they didn't show any of it on the season because Caroline was like, "You're not going to show anything about my family because my family's thick of thieves." Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, Caroline, whatever. So
I mean, considering what, speaking of Beverly Hills, what's her name had to send a cease and desist to the show and the other women to get, like, stuff taken out. The fact that she was able to do that, like, I'm surprised.
You know what? You're talking about Denise Richards. And
yes.
I want to get back to the Manzo thing, but this is why I don't really care about, I don't really care about if Denise did or didn't do it. I don't care. But what's really frustrating to me is that Taylor Armstrong was in a severe abusive marriage. And everybody knew about it.
Yeah.
And they put that shit on camera. And on camera, Camille admitted that there was domestic violence in the home. And that Taylor she said broke the jaw. It was actually dislocated, but whatever. Tomato, your jaw got fucked up.
It was horrific. Like, regardless
your jaw got
what
fucked
the details were. Yeah,
your jaw was fucked up. And there was like a whole scene where she's like screaming at Camille saying, "You don't understand why saying that is so bad. You're putting me and my daughter in danger." And a lot of people didn't understand exactly what that meant. Like, she meant that Russell could have hurt her and her daughter for having that shit being aired out on television, which they aired it anyways. Even though Russell committed suicide, they aired it anyways.
Yeah, and for those wondering, there originally was an episode where they showed all the other housewives and their families reacting to Russell's body being
they will never air it again. Because
they cut
it was so bad.
It's taken out of every single re-recording. It's not on Hulu, all of that. It's been basically, quote unquote, scrubbed from the internet. The only reason there's even evidence of it is like the recaps for the previous episode. Like, they mention it. Like, that's really it.
Yeah, I've seen it. And it was so bad. It was so bad because they were just like, he's so selfish and how could he, and da-da-da-da-da. And it was just bad. It was really, really bad. And then when the reunion happened and they asked Camille and they asked the women, should that have aired? Should the season have aired at all? And Camille was like, no, because he has other children. Which I didn't know that he had other children.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that part either.
Yeah, he has other children. Wait. So it's not just Kennedy. So his other children, that's what they have for their father the last 7 months of his life. So when I look at what happened to Taylor in the Armstrong family, which I'm not excusing the man and his actions, but he's no longer with us. I'm not excusing domestic violence. But when we look at that situation where Taylor was in a very dangerous situation, and I have people like Denise sending cease and desist because you allegedly ate Brandy's pussy, I don't want to hear it. Like, it's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable. I'm like, Denise, we're talking about a dead man and domestic violence, and you're throwing a fucking fit over you sucking a clit?
Especially because there was this whole thing with her husband and his, like, different medicine practices and all this stuff, and they alleged that they were being followed and hunted and all this stuff. She was fine with that being left in, but her potentially going down on Brandy is like, no.
Yeah, and then she said she met her husband by having sex on the in the massage table.
Oh, no. She took him to get a happy ending.
No. Like, because she met him because he was a massage therapist. Like, he was a herbal healer, and they had sex there. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah. So anyway,
Manzo. What's so confusing about Denise was like her first season there, her freshman year, she was talking about sucking dick and fucking and all that type of shit. And then the second season she comes on there, she's like, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about sex. I don't want to talk about threesomes. And I'm like, girl, your whole season you were talking about fucking and everything. And then who your baby daddy is. You want to talk about, Denise, how you had to take care of his twins from his other marriage because they were both so fucked up on drugs that you had to take care of their children? Want to talk about that, Denise? But we're concerned about people talking about threesomes when you're taking care of your ex-husband's kids.
It's weird what some people choose to take an issue with when it comes to their live stream. Yeah. So one of her older daughter, who was the one that she was alleging was like having an issue with it, she went on TikTok herself and was like, yeah, I didn't really care. Like, I didn't know, like, it wasn't a big deal. Like, yeah.
I like how these kids are going on TikTok.
Yeah.
But like back to the mob ties. But like the thing that was like really interesting is there were rumors for years, but like the last damning thing was Dina, the youngest sibling, because like they come from like a family of 8 kids or 7 kids, like some insane amount of kids.
Yeah.
And Dina is the baby. So she's the youngest. Caroline's not the oldest, but she's more on the older end, but she's not the oldest child.
And then there's also Jacqueline's husband as well.
Jacqueline's husband, and he's somewhere. He's not the oldest, but he's older than Dina, and I think he's younger than Caroline. But like, to sum it up, Dina, several years ago, she came home, and her fiance were beat up, mugged, and tied up, and robbed, and it was really bad. Like, really bad, really traumatic. Like, they were fucked up. Now they're going through a whole court case, and we found out that was her ex-husband, Caroline's brother-in-law, contacted people from the mob, allegedly, to beat her up and her fiance up.
I think they were dating at the time. I think they were like this was like right when they started dating, and now they're engaged, and now they're dealing with
Yeah. But like, they were together. Yeah. So like, so her ex-husband did that. And what's really damning is that Caroline wrote a letter to the judge saying positive things about the brother-in-law. And that kind of sealed it for all the fans, because for years, Caroline was making it seem like it was Teresa's fault of why her and Dina weren't close.
Yeah.
Or that Dina was the problem.
Yeah.
They kind of pushed this fake narrative, and now we're seeing Caroline writing a positive, character witness for her brother-in-law who beat the shit out of her sister.
Who victimized her and all of that. And it's like, and also like, I'm always suspicious of the spouse. Like, it's one thing to want to have like private time, but when you have your spouse just completely off camera the entire season and their face is never shown, that's suspicious to me. Because then it's like, I think that's a sus moment, Yeah,
because like, I felt that way about Kenya and Mark, and then that's Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then Mark went on camera, and what a bastard he is. What a bastard. I felt for Kenya. I felt for her. I was like, damn, you really wanted a baby that bad, that you would marry this bastard. You really wanted a baby that bad. And I feel the same way about Tinsley, because that's what happened to Tinsley. Tinsley left Real Housewives of New York for that bastard. And he refused to be on camera. She left New York, left the franchise to go live with him. And then he proposed to her, then ended the engagement without even telling her. So if you want to talk about lawsuits, now he sues. Yeah. So there's rumors that Tinsley wants to come back, but Scott is willing to sue if she talks about him. I feel
That's
so bad
not
for Tinsley.
Fair though. Like, it's
her story.
Yeah, it's her story. Also, does he even have legal grounds for something like that?
I don't know. But Bravo is so...
He can try and claim loss of wages if something does negative, but I mean, he would have to show proof of that.
He's a coupon man. Like, no one's going to fuck with him. He's a coupon man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a coupon man. He has millions and millions of dollars. He lives in Chicago. And then, like, it's just like really, really, sad. But like, Bravo deals with lawsuits all the time. Like, they're involved. I think they're getting involved with the Jen Schaub one. I know they're involved with the Erica Girardi one. I knew they were involved with the Teresa one. I think they were called about Jackie fighting people. I think they were called. But Bravo's really used to, being involved with lawsuits. But I'm just like really confused with Erica in the way that she's moving. Because I'm like, girl, she's
trying to pull a Kim K. That's what she's trying to do. That's what I think. She's trying to distance herself from her husband to try and save her own ass, i.e. Kim K in January trying to do that public separation thing.
Wait, I want to hear, but you said Kim K. Talk about it. I want to hear your thoughts. Because I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm going to let you say it.
So basically, Kim Kardashian filed for divorce, allegedly. All of that, whatever. Filed, that's on record, but whatever. But someone on TikTok, I would love to find this TikTok because someone broke this down really well. I think she's a divorce lawyer. I think she broke this down really well.
I know what you're talking about. I'm just
but basically, there was rumors that Kanye was going to get sued. And this lawyer said, if Kris Jenner is smart, okay? If she got wind that one of her daughter's husbands was going to potentially be sued, because big lawsuits like that, you get a heads up. Hence Tom and Erica separation, alleged cheating, all of that. But when you get a heads up like that, then everything from when there's a public separation date or there's a separation date, then especially in California, in the state of California, all of your assets after that fact cannot be like involved in the lawsuit. Okay. So what happened is all of these publications started leaking these rumors like, oh, are Kim and Kanye getting a divorce, whatever. And then later is when the lawsuit was officially filed or came down or whatever.
Yeah, it was like a week later or something.
Yeah, so then now when Kim goes to file for divorce, if I assume she has already. At this point, it's been over a year now.
There's rumors going on that she's trying to get back with him.
Kim, you deserve better. I'll say that.
She's a Libra. She's a Libra. Libras don't leave. Libras don't leave. I'm a Virgo. I'll leave.
I'm a Scorpio. I'm scared of everyone, except everyone thinks I'm sexually active.
You know, because that's a stereotype for these Scorpios. That's a stereotype that y'all some real fucking freaks.
I mean, in theory, it's just in practice.
I want to be a freak. I do.
Oh God, I would love to be in my horror era so badly. I would love to be in my hot girl Halloween.
I had a mini horror era that lasted for like a couple of months, but like still like my sex count is still low as shit. So like if I say it was like my horror era, people be like, "Girl, I do that in a week." Like you know, I'm like, wait, but that was me being a whore in my mind. Girl, bye.
It was your JV horror era.
Yeah. Like, girl, bye. Like, you could never be a whore. Like, sit down, Diva. Sit down. You're a disgrace. Oh my God.
But basically, the Kim stuff is that so when she files for divorce, when they ask for a date of separation, they can cite all of these news articles that cited earlier. So that basically seems to be what Erica was trying to do. The same thing with Tom was say that there was a divorce. Oh, she filed for divorce out of nowhere.
And she did it the day of the election. She is so calculating. And then she also said that Tom was in a car accident. There is no record of it.
And also she didn't go back to be with him or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then a lot of the stories start lining up. And so they straight up asked her, "Are y'all guys talking?" She's like, "No, we're not talking." And I'm just like, for someone not talking, y'all are saying the same exact shit. For somebody that, because like, let me tell you, even though me and my ex-husband were cool and stuff, we don't say the exact same thing.
Yeah.
When it comes to
you're two separate people. You're two separate
people, two separate opinions. So why is your stories exactly aligning? That means y'all are talking. But no, if you're going to tell me what happened with my marriage and you would ask him what happened, we would have two different stories.
Absolutely.
Two different stories. No, I'm not saying one of us lying. It's just like we have two different perspectives of what happened.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Yeah. And so, but yeah, the lineup. So that's what Erica is trying to do is she's trying to pull a Kimye. It's not working out.
Do you think she's going to jail?
If it weren't for Teresa, I would say no, honestly. Because I think I would try and think that there was some type of cushion.
Teresa in for less, by the way. For signing a piece of paper. It was like one piece of paper, I think. That's why she's in jail, because of one piece of paper.
They wanted to make an example out of the elite, I think, is what they were trying to do.
But I think Jen Shaw's going to jail, too. I think she's
going to jail. She's going to look fabulous doing it.
I know, she's going. She's going straight to jail. Because back to, that point is that her husband, not trying to shade him, he's just an assistant coach. He's just making six figures.
Yeah.
That's all he's
making. No, and like even, because originally people were like, oh, why is he working all these hours? I mean, if I was an assistant coach and I wanted to be head coach, I would be putting in those hours if I wanted that.
That's why the assistant coach puts in all the hours. The head coach just shows up to be pretty.
He's a figurehead.
Well, like he does do work, but like they just show up to be pretty. But like when it comes to scouting and things like that, like, yeah, they're 100% right. That's the assistant coach.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
It's like the assistant directors. Like that's why there's 4 or 5 assistant directors on every film credits you watch.
Yeah. Which, is a heavy job, but they don't get the biggest pay. The head coach does. But no, so like I'm not trying to shade, Coach Shaw, but like he's making 6 figures. 6 figures doesn't pay for all that stuff that she's doing. There's no
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, but like she's making like she's wearing $20,000 outfits. She's spending $20,000 on a party. Like there's no way. 6 figures can't pay for that. There's no way.
Yeah. So, Diva, I forgot to give you a warning. Usually I give guest warning. But at the end of every episode, I ask a guest to share a shenanigan of their own. And this can be quite literally anything you want. There's been a weird theme of bird-related shenanigans, i.e. birds coming and stealing French fries and food and chasing small children. It's very odd. Don't understand.
I'll repeat a shenanigans story that I said on my stream I did yesterday. So, you know how returning stuff is such a bitch? Like returning anything?
Yes.
So I was trying to return a external hard drive that literally took a shit. And I was trying to return it. And what happened was the external hard drive had different serial numbers for each single item. So the drive itself, the base, the cord, the box, all had different serial numbers. So they were saying that I wasn't returning the original product because not all the serial numbers match. And this lady basically called me a thief, saying, how about you actually return the actual hard drive and then we'll do your return. And then she walks away. So I told the guy, I was like, well, I'm not lying. This is it. I can't explain why there's different serial numbers. So I'm a Virgo. So he said, how about, so this was his famous last words. How about you just call customer service and they tell me that it's the right product? And I said, say less. So I move to the side, pick up my phone, flip the box, customer service number. Didn't even have to Google. Grab my phone. I'm on the side. I even hold the whole conversation. So it took me about 30 minutes to get a hold of somebody. Yes, I want that motherfucking return. You never tell a Virgo. You never tell a motherfucking Virgo what they need to do to make you look like an asshole in front of everybody. You never fucking do it because we have the pettiest motherfuckers out there. So I waited a whole 30 minutes. I'm on the phone. I told Lady what happened. Lady's like, oh, this happens all the time. The reason why we have different serial numbers is to make sure there is no stealing. So I read her all the serial numbers and she's like, yeah, that's exactly what should be on that box. And she was like, you know what, baby? Let me get that return for you. Hand them the phone. I said, say less. I waved to the guy. Hi, me? The one you told me to call customer service? They want to talk to you. The line stops because it's like a return line. So so I literally stopped the whole store for my bullshit. So he's on the phone and like he's trying to act like puff up his chest. And I don't know what the fuck that lady said to him because he went from confident to down phase.
Oh my gosh.
So then he was like, ma'am, you can have your phone back. I was like, so can I have my return? He was like, yeah, you can have your return. And I was like, do you want cash or do you want a swap? I was like, I want a swap and you can go get it for me. Because I've been waiting for an hour to get this motherfucking return. You go get it for me. I'll be right here looking pretty. And
that's a good shenanigan. We always respect shenanigans where people get their comeuppance for being pettiness is rewarded on this podcast.
Amanda, in your mind, you're all like, I could totally imagine her doing this, and I did.
100%. Oh, because you just know he was like, why don't you go ahead and call Cuz? Like, I'm picturing his voice and just dripping with venom, like, oh, this will do it, because she won't take the effort. Like, exactly.
And I did.
Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode of Swell Shenanigans featuring me, Swell, Diva, Hermes, and Wednesday. As always, all of our information will be linked down below. If you would like to send in your own shenanigans, there's a link down below as well for that. You can do that through Anchor, and you can send in an audio recording of your shenanigans, and me and my guests can talk about it. Diva, do you want to go ahead and plug all your stuff?
Everything is Daphoenixdiva. My Twitch, my Twitter, my Instagram, my YouTube, everything Daphoenixdiva. Thank you so much for having me. This was fun.
Thank you for coming on. Yeah, this was great. I will have everything linked down below of mine and Diva's. And again, I still don't have a concluding outro for these podcasts. So have a swell day.